There are rare moments in the history of science when silence speaks louder than any explosion, and this, without question, is one of them. It wasn't an asteroid, a collapsing star, or a distant galaxy that triggered the alarm. It was the absence of everything. The James Webb Space Telescope, orbiting nearly 1,000,000 miles from Earth and peering deeper into the cosmos than any instrument before it, turned its gaze to a region of space long thought to be a dead zone, a quiet void between galaxies, a forgotten blank spot on the cosmic map. But what it discovered there shattered every assumption. In the loneliest, quietest corner of the universe, Webb detected a shadow. Not one that blocked or reflected light, but one that consumed it. And then something even stranger happened. The darkness moved, slowly, deliberately, as if it knew it was being watched. What Webb captured next forced the scientific world to confront the impossible. Teams of astrophysicists, cosmologists, and quantum theorists were forced to abandon everything they understood about matter, space, and time. Because this wasn't a comet, it wasn't a pulsar, it wasn't a black hole, it was something else. Something that responds, something that maybe remembers. This is the story of what James Webb saw in the deep, a discovery so unnerving, so alien in behavior and physics, that scientists have started whispering the unthinkable. What if this didn't come from our universe at all? Music. It began during a deep field survey near the Erodana supervoida, mysterious, nearly mythological expanse of space known for its cold spots and unusually sparse galactic presence. While calibrating its infrared sensors for a galaxy map, Project Webb picked up an anomaly. It was too symmetrical to be natural, yet too chaotic to be artificial. What it detected was not stars, not gas, not galaxies. It found a perfect circle of silence. No light entered it. No light bent around it. This wasn't gravitational lensing. It was like something had punched a hole in the universe itself. Imagine dropping ink into a glass of water, only to watch the water vanish. That's what the data revealed. Not just a void in matter, but a void in reality, a place where physical law seemed to stop existing. Initial theories pointed to a possible new form of black hole, but there was no gravitational lensing, no X-ray emissions, no measurable mass, just a cold, motionless spot where nothing made sense. Then came the most disturbing observation. The perimeter started to shift, not like an orbiting body, but like something breathing. Music. Multiple scientific institutions began poring over the light echoes surrounding the anomaly. What they found was more unsettling than any supernova or black hole. The distortions in light weren't random. They pulsed at intervals that followed the sequence of prime numbers 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, ... As if the object wasn't just there, it was communicating, but communicating with what? Or whom? Even stranger, it wasn't radio, infrared, or gamma. It wasn't a wave as we understand it. It was a disturbance in space-time itself. Webb's gyroscopes, some of the most sensitive instruments ever built, triggered microscopic shifts, synced to each pulse, as if the object were nudging the very fabric of the universe. It wasn't just breaking our understanding of physics, it was toying with it. Mathematicians were called in, quantum theorists flooded in. The conclusion: these were not the natural rhythms of a star or planet. They were the fingerprints of intelligence. No known object in the cosmos behaves this way. Not quasars, not rogue planets, not even dark matter. The precision was unnerving. The regularity was surgical. And some experts fear it may not be alive. It may be aware. Music. Then came the moment that changed everything. Exactly 27 days after the first detection, a follow-up observation revealed the unthinkable. The object had moved, but not through space, through dimensions. It didn't drift. It didn't accelerate. It blinked like a strobe, disappearing from one location and reappearing, just 0.004 degrees off its original position. A fraction imperceptible to human eyes, but catastrophic to the models of cosmology. Because if something can relocate without leaving a trace, it's not bound by gravity. It's not bound by light. It's not even bound by time. The only thing in known physics that behaves remotely similar: quantum entanglement, particles reacting across vast distances instantly, without crossing the space between them. But this wasn't subatomic. This was something else entirely. This wasn't subatomic. It wasn't quantum foam or invisible particles at play. This was a structure the size of a small moon, behaving as if the laws of classical physics were merely suggestions. When astrophysicists ran simulations of its motion, what they found was even more unsettling. Its reappearances weren't random. They traced a spiral one that pointed inward, directly toward Earth by the fourth month of analysis. The central question had shifted. No longer is it dangerous, but rather, is it thinking? Around the anomaly, geometric formations began to stabilize into fractal patterns, self-replicating, evolving shapes not like organs or skeletons, but neural pathways. As the Webb telescope continued observing, the patterns adapted. They corrected themselves in real time, responding to the sensor's orientation, almost like it knew it was being watched. Scientists gave the behavior a chilling name: responsive geometry. Some theorized that the object was no simple structure at all, but a kind of dimensional antenor. Worse, a sentient construct, not designed to move, but to anchor itself in place, waiting. One AI system, trained to simulate alien pattern recognition, was fed Webb's raw data. It failed catastrophically, looping, freezing, crashing before finally returning a single word in its error log recognized. The implication was impossible to ignore. No one wanted to say it out loud, but everyone understood this wasn't a discovery, it was a reply. Weeks of data collection followed, and then something else emerged, not from the object itself, but the surrounding field. A subtle shift in background radiation, barely perceptible, began to appear at first. It was thought to be noise, but unlike the cosmic microwave background, or emissions from stars, this signal was synchronized with the object's pulses, only delayed, like an echo. Spectral analysis confirmed the impossible. The signal contained harmonic layers, not random bursts of radiation, but structured frequencies, arranged like musical chords, nested, resonant, intentional. Some called it the song of the void. Others were less poetic. A pattern like this, they warned, couldn't occur naturally. This wasn't chaos, it was engineered. Even more disturbing, waveform wasn't static. It subtly changed in response to Webb's position, almost as if the signal was interactive. Observing us back, a horrifying hypothesis emerged. The object wasn't just transmitting, it was listening. Behind closed doors, panic began to grow. A team of theoretical mathematicians was brought in to analyze the signal's timing. That's when the true shift happened. Hidden within the pulse intervals was a buried mathematical constant, one not known to occur in any natural astrophysical phenomenon. The lemur prime spiral, a bizarre spiraling configuration of prime numbers, long noted for its strange alignment with patterns found in nature. And yet, here it was, repeated precisely in the timing of the anomaly's distortions. Some believed it was a message, a kind of universal language, a Rosetta Stone written in math, a signature, a sign not just of intelligence, but of recognition. Whoever or whatever placed that sequence there understood the deepest structures of our reality. Then came the most disturbing revelation yet. When the sequence was mapped in 3 dimensions, it formed a helix, a complex, elegant spiral. It mirrored the shape of human DNA. Coincidence, perhaps. But further analysis revealed the pulse intervals aligned with genetic codance patterns used in our own biological blueprint. Something out there wasn't just watching us. It understood us. It knew us maybe long before we ever knew to look. That's when everything started going quiet. Webb's public data streams began experiencing unexplained delays. Research observatory logs vanished without explanation. Scientists, closely tied to the anomaly, abruptly resigned or were reassigned, and the tone of official statements began to shift. The openness and excitement of discovery faded. In its place, vague clinical language, bureaucratic distance, evasion. Insiders leaked that emergency meetings had been held across multiple agencies: the European Space Agency, NASA, even private. Firms like SpaceX and Blue Origin were quietly pulled in. The silence wasn't just about secrecy, it was about containment. It wasn't fear of an immediate threat that shook scientists. It was the unsettling fact that no one could say for sure it wasn't already here. Theories multiplied rapidly. Was it a probe? A sentinel? A warning left behind? What made its discovery even more chilling was the timing. It appeared only after we had developed a technology capable of detecting it. That means one of two things: it had always been there, invisible to us, or it waited for us to notice. But the most disturbing detail: deep space probes like Voyager and New Horizons had passed close to this region decades ago and detected nothing. That leaves two terrifying possibilities. Either the object was cloaked from conventional sensors, or it wasn't there at all. Ominous music fades in. Then came the final act. Quiet, subtle, on the 48th day of focused observation. Just before the James Webb Space Telescope was due to shift to another region, everything changed. The anomalies. Signal vanished. No more pulses, no more distortions, only static, but not before the telescope captured one last image, an infrared compositant, like anything seen before. It wasn't a shadow. It wasn't lens flare or noise. It was a shape, symmetrical, angular, deliberate, like a sigil hanging in space. It lasted just 3 frames, too brief to fully decode. But AI analysis confirmed it was no natural formation. It was geometric, nested triangles, concentric circles, lines forming a recursive, intelligent pattern. And then, nothing. The object never returned. No signal, no trace, just silence. But the data remains, and so does the most terrifying possibility of all: it didn't leave. It simply stopped letting us see it. So what did Webb actually uncover out there? A silent observer in the cosmic dark. A signal designed only for civilizations advanced or reckless enough to find it, or something far stranger. A glitch. In reality, we were never meant to notice. The deeper we peer into space, the more the void seems to notice. What once felt like an empty canvas now feels eerily like a mirror, and something on the other side may have finally realized we're watching this. Discovery is no longer just about space. It's about something we aren't ready to understand. We may have triggered a conversation with an intelligence that doesn't speak in language, but in rhythm, geometry, and silence. And the most unsettling question remains: is it trying to communicate or to warn us? One thing is certain: James Webb didn't just collect data. It opened a door, and what's behind it might change everything, not just about the cosmos, but about us. If this left you questioning what's really out there, or already here like this video, subscribe for more spine-chilling revelations, and hit the bell so you'll be the first to know when the universe breaks its silence again, because this isn't science fiction anymore. This is science reacting.